Hey guys, and welcome to our fourth lecture. Today we are going to be covering some basic syntax for Java programming. And before you watch this lecture, please be sure to complete our pre-test, and there will also be a post-test based off of this lecture. So let's get started. So when we look at Java programming, you're probably asking yourself, what is a Java program? How do we actually define it? Well, we define a Java program as a collection of objects that communicate through each other's methods. We are going to be going over some definitions today, so please pay attention here because this will be on the post-exam. So, a couple definitions. We have an object which has a state and behavior, and an example of that would be a cat. Like it has a color, a name, a breed, but it also has a behavior like meowing or purring. A class is similar to a blueprint, and it best describes behaviors and states of an object of its type. And remember, type is the primitive data type. So we have an integer, a double, a boolean, and we've gone over those in previous slides. And an example of a class would be like our class name at the top of each program. Methods is most similar to the behavior. A class can also have multiple methods, and this is also where data is calculated and actions are executed. And an example of a method is the main method that's in all of our programs. Alright, so in previous lectures we have covered how we compile and run programs, so we are just going to cover some small tips that will help you avoid any kind of errors when you're writing and compiling your own programs. Oh, sorry, we're past it. So, a few things to remember. Java is case sensitivity, which means if you have a variable called temp and you try to use it using temp with a capital T, it would have a completely different value and would not compile when you tried to run it. For class name, it's also a good habit to make sure that the first letter is a capital letter. Now, this is not fully necessary, but it is just a good programming habit to get into. And for methods, all methods names should start with a lowercase letter. And an example here is public void my method. And as you can see, my is lowercased. Also, as you can see, void, which is right here, void means we do not return anything from the method. This is just a small reminder, again, when you're saving your programs, they need to be saved under the same name as your class name. Now, this will be tested, so please keep track of this. So now let's talk about two different types of variables. So we have local variables that must be declared and created in a method, constructor, or blocks. Because the variable is local, it is only visible within those methods, constructors, or blocks, and once it exits or once the program moves to the next method, that variable, if it's not declared in the next one, it's destroyed. You can't access it, it's gone. So also there is no default value for a local variable. It must be declared with an initial value. So that's another really good thing to remember. And now let's write a little bit of code together. So I've created a program here called test. So we're just going to go over a few little things. So I'm going to create a variable called int count. I'm going to set it to 2. Now, as you can see, it's an integer, so it's just a real number here. And then I'm going to say the increment here is going to be count is going to equal count plus 3. Let's say that. So, and then we're also going to have system.out.println. So we're doing a print statement, and we're going to say the count number is, and then we're going to say plus count. So we're passing in the variable count into here. So as you can see here, this is a method, count number. This is the first method we're seeing other than our main method. So now you can see when you run a program, it's not going top from bottom. It's going to go to the main method first. So if we want access into this method, we have to write test is going to equal new test method, right? So now this is going to bring us into our class. See how they match? And then we're going to go test dot count number. So this is saying run this method, run count number, and we have access into it because we've access into the class. So when we run it, everything that's in this method is it's gonna run. So before we move on, I would really like you guys to pause this video and try to write what you think the output of this program would be. Try and trace through it, so go through it step by step. Make sure you're understanding it. Make sure you can do it. And then once you're ready, replay the video, and we're going to go over the solution in just a second. Alright, how'd it go? Hopefully it went pretty well for you guys. So let's learn, and we're going to run and compile the program. So I have this program saved to my desktop, as you can see at the top here. It's also saved under test.java, which is the same as my class name. So we're going to compile it. Does everyone remember how to compile the program? So it's going to be javac and then the name of the file, so test.java. Let's see what happens. Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong. I forgot a capital, my bad there. See, now it runs test Java, test. And the output is 5, which is pretty clear here because we're going to go from count number. Count is going to start at 2, and then count is going to change from count is going to equal count, so 2 plus 3, which is going to be 5. And then it's going to print out the count number is 5. And as you can see, it did it. So we did well. Good job, guys. Okay, so let's go back to the slideshows here. So again, here's just a copy of my code, just in case you want to look back at it or you have any questions. Please refer back to the slide. So the other type of variable is an instance variable. These variables are declared in a class but outside a method constructor box, so they're not included in them. And when they are created, an object is created with the keyword new, and that makes it so it's going to be visible to all methods. So let's look at an example. We're going to be going back to a bit more coding. So let's exit out of here, go back. I've also created a program called name. So this is going to be, it's a little bit bigger, but don't stress, it's not too crazy. We have, how many methods do we have here? So we have 1, 2, 3 methods. So I'll just make a little note. I'm going to be doing it as a comment. We'll just do it at the end here. So there are 3 methods. What else do we have? Okay, so these are going to be our instance variables, okay? So they're declared outside of all the methods, but within the class. So this means they're going to be visible in all of them. So, what do you think is going to happen here? Now, look here, we started our main. So again, we're going to run, when we run the program, we're going to go to main. And here, I'm just going to give you a little hint. We're passing in Haley, that's me, into the method name. Right? Or we're passing, no, that's incorrect, sorry. We are passing the value Haley into the variable name. So let's see what happens. Or name 1, sorry, that's what we're doing. So if you could pause the video again, please try and write out the outprint of what this is going to be, the output and everything. So pause the video and let me know how it goes. All right, how did it go? I do just need to do a quick thing. I need to move this to my desktop. All right. Let's try and run this program. So we're Java C name.java. See if it compiles. Yep. And are you ready? So it's going to be Haley, salary, $9.79. It's not a very high salary. So why did it do that? Okay, so in our main program, we are assigning the value name1 to equal to the string Haley. So that's me. So when we say name1.setSalary, we are passing in Haley into name, and salary, we're passing this number into the value set salary, right? So let's go into here. Set salary. So up here, and we are passing in $9.79, so salary is going to equal $9.79. This is what this is doing. So then when it goes into the next part, now we're going name.1 print e, right? So we have these values all saved. Name is going to be Haley, and salary is going to be $9.79. So we're passing it in there, and these are going to get printed out. Super simple, super easy. How did it go, though? I hope it went well for everyone. Let's get back to the slides here. And again, here's just a copy of my code if you do need to refer back to it or have any questions. Really good reference for future programming. So that is the end of our lesson. We've covered today quite a bit of information. We defined objects, classes, and methods, and we chatted about really important things to remember when programming. And we also talked about the 2 different types of variables, the local and instant variables. And please complete the post quiz and submit your output for my code. I would really like to see how you guys felt with the programs, and if you got the output, it'd be great. I really hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.